All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So, uh, this is such a beautiful topic, especially for those of you who are healer coaches. You've already begun that journey of tapping into the power of healing, not just for yourself, but you recognize that now you're on a journey, a very special journey where you can help other people through the power of healing. Or maybe you've tapped into the power of coaching in your own life, and now you're all set to make that difference in other people's lives as a coach. And, as you go on this journey, at some point you recognize that, it's so important to not just do the one on ones, but also to build your community. And so, as you're building your community, you'll notice that in this entire endeavor of building a community, the one thing that is so important is to be able to not just trust, as in trust yourself in what you say, in what you do, in the work that you do, especially as maybe, let's say, working with clients one on one. But more than that, what is so important is that, as you're building your community, you're growing, your trust in people and their trust in you, and by extension, their trust in themselves. These are things that, will start to become more and more, they come, um, you know, front and center, as they say. So this is something that I'm noticing more and more each day as our community is growing. More people are joining us, more people are attending regularly. And of course, as they attend more regularly, they see amazing results in their lives. They're starting to see, amazing results in the lives of people who they care about, whether it's their friends, their family, or maybe even people that they work with, especially as fellow healer coaches who really have understood that they are meant to make a difference in other people's lives. So something that very early in the day, very early in the game, if you want to call it that, that I realized now, even if I look back, especially in the space of healing and coaching, um, it's so important to trust your own gut. It's so important to trust your intuition. And I say this because a lot of times there can be a, let's call it, there can be, um, let's put it like this. It can be quite tempting to, to go a different direction. Let's say, you pick up on the latest trends and you decide to follow that, right? Because that's what people say, that's what the experts say, and so you kind of follow that without really listening to your own gut. So what's happening is that you're literally unknowingly, uh, it's like you're committing the cardinal sin of not trusting your own gut. And here's the thing: if you don't trust your own gut, then sooner or later it will show up. It will show up in the quality of what you create, it will show up in the quality of what you deliver, and eventually it will show up in the quality of your community. Meaning, if you aren't building this on trust, if you're not building a community on trust, and you're just sort of doing it um, just because maybe you're chasing some uh, goal, or you're chasing, as they say, the shiny objects, then sooner or later you will experience that. Uh, you know, it's literally like that valley. And I'm telling you all of this because I have myself experienced this. There have been times in the past where, even if it was for a moment, I didn't trust my gut. I didn't trust my inner voice. And so I chose to kind of follow my head rather than what my intuition or my gut was telling me. And eventually, of course, because our gut, our intuition, this is what makes us healers. This is what makes us healer coaches. And so sooner or later, life has a funny way of rebalancing, and we realize that, okay, I may have followed a certain path, but that's not the path that I'm meant to go on. There's something far more divine, there's something far more powerful that I'm meant to follow. And so, as you start to kind of literally like take a step back, reflect on what's happening, you start to recognize the patterns. And the more you start to trust your intuition, you start to trust your gut rather than just your intellect, rather than just your conscious mind, that's when things start to get better. And then, of course, every step of the way, every day, in fact, you will be, um, you will come across these moments where you have an opportunity to either trust your gut or to trust whatever sort of seems to be floating in the air. And I can see the difference because now, literally, the simple way of doing this, it's like, if you're watching the IPL matches. It's like literally, why do players do really well? Because by and large, they're able to be so present, they're able to be so in the moment that there isn't any thinking required. It's more and more based on their uh, gut. It's based on them trusting their gut. And of course, obviously, all the hours and hours and the years and years of the build up of making more right decisions than wrong. And so, as long as they're able to stay in this zone, that is when they continue to go on to become legends. So, just a word out there, especially if you're starting this journey as a healer, as a coach, or as I like to call us, healer coaches, something to remember that, it's so important to trust. It's so important to create that environment that, um, truly, literally creating that culture of trust in your community. And the more you're able to do it, the more you will find people who will step up, who will, literally exhibit that because you yourself are the first person who is showing that, who is being that in your own community. So, I've said this before and I'll say it again. If there's any way in which I can help you, please do reach out and let me know, especially as a healer coach when you're on this journey. I know how difficult, I know how lonely it can be, I know how frustrating it can be. For some of you, you may not know this, or you may or may not have heard me mention this, but not only have I been, on this journey over the last 5, 6 years now of really, you know, honing my skills, mastering uh, the skills required to be able to build a business, especially in the space of being a healer coach. But also, my experience goes way back. Like literally, it's been 20 plus years of being in this space and doing this work, and through all the ups and downs, making sure that I keep showing up, even for the times when I haven't. Finally, my trust, my gut has proven me, that it is time to listen. It's time to trust my gut and then come back up and then keep going and going and going. And here I am, just to remind you that, if you're somebody that wants that kind of a space, you want that kind of an environment where you can be, uh, you know, given that space and where you can really truly be amongst your peers, people who are like-minded, then definitely come and experience what we do at the Hypnosis Life. We, of course, in the community, we have many programs. One of them happens, in fact, just happened this evening. On Mondays and Fridays at 6 p.m., we have the iHypnosis Life Experiences. This is, of course, an opportunity for you to come and experience live what happens in the community, who are the kind of people who show up, what is it that we do. And of course, in all of this, we focus more on our unconscious mind to be able to, uh, you know, really reground and really connect with our higher power. And the more you do this, the more you will see miracles happening in many, many different areas of your life. So there is, of course, this program, and then we do have the foundation track. This happens on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a 3-day workshop, and this happens literally every Monday. You can come and be part of this. There is a link there's a link that's attached. I guess it'll be in the comment section, depending on where you're watching this. So come and experience it for yourself, because if you really connect with the way we do things, and if you really connect with the people, then I can promise you there's a lot more to come. And as I said through all of today's pod, and everything is about trust. And so when you're able to feel that, and you're able to sense that, this is where you start to take these values and also amplify it in your own community. And of course, beyond the and I don't know if I mentioned this already, but this happens, as I said, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 11. So 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So there is, of course, as I said, the foundation track. Then we do have the advanced track, and then there is a mastery track. So these are like three ways for you to go deeper into your own journey, especially if you're someone who is looking to develop skills, you're looking to be able to get better at what you do. Eventually, of course, if you're looking to also work on offer creation, that is something that we do. So do reach out and, of course, let me know. And as always, if there's any way in which I can help you, I'll be more than happy to. And of course, having said all of that, remember to live your purpose. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.